No, just a couple of months.
You're new.
Yeah.
Lots going on here, though.
Very much. Lots of gigs, lots of venues. I mean, it's,
Everybody plays here.
yeah, absolutely. I think the last time I actually talked to you was in Belfast. You were with Black Star Riders.
That's all right. We played that festival, remember? And it was raining. It started raining right after. Who was going up next?
What happened with the Black Star Riders? Because did you decide musically to just to move on, or were you nudged? Or?
No, I wasn't nudged. And
you know, obviously you knew those guys for quite some
no,
time.
I know those guys. Scott,
and stuff.
I've been working with Scott since '94, brother.
Yeah.
And let's just say that things got a little. For me personally, it got a little uncomfortable going from the Thin Lizzy to the BSR thing.
Okay.
And the album's brilliant. Everybody, Ricky's amazing, Damon, Scotty, and Jimmy DeGrasso, amazing players. You can't deny that.
Sure.
And but on the business side, it got a little funny.
Yeah.
The switch between the Thin Lizzy and the started getting a little. It didn't feel right for a minute. It just started feel. It felt like we were doing half a set Thin Lizzy material and then BSR because there's no way around it.
Yeah,
it's the same lineup. So yeah, it started getting a little funny, and there was a couple of things that happened where I started feeling like not part of the band.
Okay.
That's the bottom line, if I can be really honest.
Yeah.
I started feeling like a sideman again, and also it was requiring me to give a lot of time. And they needed a full-time commitment from somebody.
Yeah. And obviously you have other musical things
exactly
that you enjoy doing.
Yes, and I enjoyed doing it, and it was like I couldn't balance both. I'm going, I'm not feeling right here. I have all these other opportunities. Neil Sean was calling me to go and do that album, So You, and then Dolores O'Riordan's calling from New York. I'm in the studio in a few weeks. You need to be part of that.
Yeah.
And I started weighing everything out, and I had to kind of like make a decision for myself. I told the guys before we started the U.S. leg tour, I said, guys, after this, I'm going to... So I took the high road. I did it the right way. And I said, I won't leave until we find a replacement that you're happy with, that everybody's happy with. And we found Robbie, Robbie's great. So...
Okay, and then Dead Daisies come along, so...
And then the Dead Daisies came along in that group of opportunities, and I'm like, we did the Aerosmith run in Australia, and it was just going to be a 7-gig run, to be honest. Yeah. And after the third, fourth gig, we're all looking at each other going, this could be really cool, man. This is a lot of fun. And at the end of that run, it was like, we had offers. Yeah. So do you want to take it to the next level and continue, or... And we decided to continue. I'm glad we did, because now we have, 2 years of work or whatever. 2
albums as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Dead Daisies, you view that as a band, a musical collaboration. There seems to be people coming and going, and there's a core of band members, but there's also a little bit of flexibility with regard to people coming and going.
Yeah, it goes back to what I just mentioned, when David Lowy and David Edwards, the manager, David Lowy, I met them. I was touring with Thin Lizzy in Australia on the Kiss Motley Crue package with Thin Lizzy, and Lowy was there with his band. And I remember going up and hearing some great songs, great songwriting, and I'm going, some guitar, some cool stuff. And I remember going and hearing them 3 or 4 times, and wow, I'm really digging what you're doing. And just in passing backstage, because we all become a family after you hang out. Man, I really like what you're doing, man. It's really cool. Oh, thank you. So that grew into his manager coming to me and saying, Marco, we have an opportunity to put something together. It's a band called the Dead Daisies, and David would love for you to collaborate and be part of this. If you're interested. I said, I'm always interested in cool things, because I am. You know my journey has been like that. Yeah. So I came home, and I made nothing of it, to be honest, because I get approached by a lot of people, a lot of things that never come to fruition. Sure. So I just figured, let's just wrap in, we're talking, being friendly. And I got home, and 2 weeks later, I remember 2 weeks later, by the day, David Edwards called and said, well, this thing's moving forward. We'd love for you to collaborate and be part of this and participate. And I said, oh, cool, oh, great, well, send me the music. And as soon as I got the music and I started listening to the tracks, the direction of the music, first of all,
Yeah.
I heard some great stuff. I'm like, wow, this is speaking to me very loudly.
Yeah.
And then he followed it by an email like, well, we need to know in the next 10 days because we have an opportunity to book the run with Aerosmith. So, bing, bing, bells started ringing everywhere, and I'm like, okay. So I called Dolores in New York. I said, Dolores, do you mind if I come to New York a few weeks later? She says, not at all, honey. I love you. You're my guy, whatever. We'll work around you. Okay. So that was it. And I called Neil, and he said the same thing. And so I went to Australia, and that's what it was, man. So, like me, the other players that got approached, like Richard Fortas and Charlie Graydon, and who else? And Dizzy, and everybody had prior commitments.
Yeah, yeah.
So initially, it's like, let's do this run, and then call it a day.
Yeah.
So when you're a busy guy like we are, you plan. I mean, you're booked 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 months ahead. You're signed up to do this, signed up to do that, and so that's what it is. And I think essentially at the bottom of the core of the issue is whoever decides to make this a priority starts hanging out, which I did. Yeah. After a little bit, I was digging the whole thing, the direction, the work ethic, which is very strong, the creative side, which I'm participating on, full on.
Yeah.
So
you're not a sideman, or
I'm not.
You're very involved in that songwriting, the whole.
Yes, and to me,
process.
at this point in my life, in my career, my journey is so important. It speaks louder than any amount of money or anything, to be honest, because you work your whole life to be able to have a voice. And when you're omitted from doing that, you just play the bass, shut up, play the parts, and we'll throw you a bone. And it works to a certain extent, and then you're like, I'm not fulfilled, man.
And the album itself, it was recorded in Cuba, was it?
We started recording in Cuba, so that's what happened. So the same goes by the other players. I think Richard started hanging out because he loved it, and Dizzy Reed started hanging out. We went through a few drummers because Brian Tishy had a prior commitment.
Yeah, sure.
I'm going back to the other question, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And so that's what happened, but the impression people on the outside get is like, well, this is just an all-star thing, revolving door. But that's the story. The people who want to, this is a solid project. This is a solid band. The people who want to hang out, hang out. But the beginning of the album started in Cuba, yes.
Yeah. I think I said this to you before. You played with two of my favourite bands ever, Whitesnake and Thin Lizzy.
Thank you.
Do you still have hopes and dreams musically? I mean, you played with so many great bands, great players. I mean, what still drives you?
I
Motivates you?
I do. And
you still seem to enjoy it. I mean, your enthusiasm just resonates every gig we've seen you.
Thanks, man. I do. I love performing. That's a big part of who I am. But I love the idea of going into the studio and writing some stuff with other cats and bringing the song to life and then throwing it out there. And if it sticks, people dig it, and then you perform it for them. There's no bigger satisfaction for an artist, for a musician. So, and having played with these bands pretty much set the standard. Yeah. So you're always trying to reach that plateau. I mean, those years are gone, let's be honest. But at least musically, you can write stuff that goes, this could, this is getting close or whatever. So, and I'm inspired by, the years that I put in with Ted Nugent, with Thin Lizzy, with Whitesnake, with Neil Schon, with Dolores. I mean, on the writing side, I'm starting to do some of my own too. So, yeah, I'm very enthusiastic, and the whole thing circles around that performance, that hour and a half.
You have fun. It's clear that you enjoy being on stage.
I really do, man. It's a high for me.
It never becomes a chore. It never becomes predictable.
It has in the past.
Right.
It has. With some big bands, and I won't say who they are. It doesn't matter. But it becomes very predictable, monotonous, and it becomes a production. So there's no spontaneity. There's no last-minute things. With this band, that's what it's all about.
I mean, your enthusiasm passes on to the audience, and they give back. So it's like a two-way thing. Yeah,
and it happens between all of us too on stage.
Yeah.
Because I'm amazed. Richard starts playing some great stuff, and wow. And then Brian's playing some great stuff, and John's singing some stuff, and David. It's like, wow. It's like, honestly, for a point of reference, it's like being a teenager again. It's like being a teenager with your first band, and you're trying out new songs. That excitement is back with me. So I love it, man.
What about the album itself? Would you have any sort of particular favourites of it, or does it just vary night to night and depending on?
Yes, it is. It's so. I heard the album, to be honest, not too long ago on my way from Italy. I did a solo tour in Europe, and I was from Milano to Sydney to do the Kiss run with the Daisies. Yep. And I said, wow, you know, I haven't really heard the whole album top to bottom. And because this flight was 16 hours. Yes, and amazing, man. I was really proud to be part of something like that. It's a good album. There's a lot of different colors in there. There's a lot of bluesy stuff. There's a lot of stuff that's reminiscent of Deep Purple, the Grand Funk Railroad stuff, the frickin' all the stuff that we love. Yeah. Even some Beatle-esque stuff, you know, with Sleep, and it was wide. The range was so wide that it was like, I'm really proud of this. So Mexico resonates with me because I grew up in Mexico. Let's be honest. And when the song was written, you know, it was written about question marks. How could paradise go so wrong, you know? Because I know a lot of people living in LA and California. Mexico was the destination, and it still is for some people, but it's lost its luster because of what's going on down there. So Mexico resonates with me. I'm a little proud to be singing about my country I came from. But gosh, you know, Looking for the One is a great song, and Get Up, Get Ready is a funk. Yeah. It takes it away from the mainstream rock and roll thing into the funk area thing, which I love playing as a bass player. But Sleep, again, I love that song. My Time, the Deep Purple, you know, influences there, obviously with Dizzy on the B3. There's so many, man. You know, every time I listen to it, I can't pick one. Songs are like children. Yeah. I'm sure you've heard this before. You have kids and you go, wow, I'm proud of that one right now, I'm proud of that one, but you really don't have a favorite.
Would that be the same then, looking back in your albums and that you've done with different bands, different artists?
There's so many,
over the years. Yeah,
how can I pick Cat Scratch Fever over Still of the Night? You can't. Sure. Okay, or The Boys Are Back in Town with Black Rose. Yeah. Or Dancing in the Moonlight. Come on, man. It's like, wow, that's impossible.
Said earlier that you always seem very cool, relaxed. You enjoy what you're doing. What pisses you off? What pushes your buttons?
What pushes my buttons, and it's very simple.
If that doesn't say that desire, that a passion for music, and I mean, you don't seem to be a guy that would be rattled by much.
I don't, and honestly, bro, sobriety is a big factor in my life. Yeah. You know, when I got sober in 1987, September 20th at 3 o'clock. Yeah. Not that I remember. No. I remember every hour. I learned how to tolerate and understand and be accepting of my surroundings, people, places, and things. I don't want to preach. Yep. But that's become my mantra, in that I understand that I have no control over people, places, and things around me. What I do have control is my ability to deal with my surroundings. So that's something that I consciously wake up with in the morning. And I have what I call the attitude of gratitude. When I'm in that place, honestly, in my head, in my spirit, everything is exactly the way it's supposed to be. So every so often what rattles me when I get off of that and I want to try to kind of talk to some, is people rattle me. The lack of appreciation. In our business, we don't appreciate what we have. Sometimes we forget. Some of us forget where we came from, what the alternative is to be doing something else other than playing music. Yeah. That kind of rattles me a little bit, but I've accepted it because I haven't walked in their shoes. I don't know what's going on in their spirit, in their psychologically. Emotionally, I don't know what's going on. So I only say to myself, well, maybe they need to go through something. They're on their same different journey. So But nothing much rattles me. Rattles me what's going on the planet, and that's another interview. That's amazing that people would need to go through that length to make a difference. You know, it's amazing.
Does would you say the fame had a price? Obviously, I mean you've got family, your wife and stuff. I mean, is there a point when you can't even your private life's just gone because you're out maybe with family and you're recognised?
To be honest, I'm in that gray area. I think when I come out on tour, that's when I get that's when I get a little bit of. You noticed here and there. Well, right now we went down to lunch. You know, they're oblivious, and that's fine. I dig that. When I go home, people know what I do.
Yeah, they respect
our space. They respect our space with our family, and they're very cool. When I go up to Hollywood, that's another story because then everybody wants a piece of you or whatever. But it's been good. No, the price of celebrity and. You know, I don't consider myself a celebrity, but I consider myself a musician that's been very lucky, very privileged, and my name's out there in my image sometimes. Yeah. But look at what happened to Scott Weiland. That rattles me in a big way, and that's another interview, bro.
Sure.
Being sober for 28 years, and I see a brother, a colleague that's so talented, that cat was so freaking go down the drains like that. It's like, wow. And I've had quite a few friends in the past 10 years. That rattles my cage in a way where I wish I could have done something, made a difference. Yeah. And at least just have a talk, a visit for an hour. And sometimes you can't.
I know that personally I had a very good friend. He was down on his luck one time and he moved in with me and he had a drink problem. I knew he kind of had a drink problem, but sometimes you can't get through to people no matter how much you want to try.
True.
And he died young and it was like, shit, I could have helped him, but you can't.
You can't. If the opportunity presents itself and you don't take it, then you feel. Yeah. But I never had that opportunity with Scott and other folk, you know, in the past. I could drop some names. I don't want to drop names, but I try in my own way, the way I walk, you know, represent.
Just want to finish on. You're back in January.
Yes.
In the UK tour. Helen had emailed me. Yeah. But I already sorted out to talk about the Daisies. Yeah. But I thought I would just bounce in with asking about the forthcoming UK tour with Sora and Pino.
Yes.
Is it going to be you playing little bits of this, little bits of that?
I kind of have to. I mean, let's be honest. People know that some people know that I sing a little bit and that I've been writing some songs and my album did okay. It recouped from the labels, 2, 3 albums. They've done okay, but let's decide. You know, it didn't. It didn't blow up, but that's fine. I'm busy. You know. Yeah. I'm gonna have to kind of. What I like to do is when I go and do my solo thing is talk about my journey a little bit. Yeah. Talk about how again. I hate to use the word, how privileged I am and have been. I've seen
you played Belfast on one of your solo tours.
Yeah, and hopefully this time it'll be promoted a little better. Kieran Campbell is doing it, and he's a dear friend.
You worked with him before.
I worked with him before, and he's a friend. He really believes in what I do and stands behind it. It's not a money thing, because I don't even want to tell you what it is. Sure. But I have to do it for me. Like I said, I'm at that point where I want to come and sing my songs and deliver my message of hope and light and give people a good feeling in their heart, emotionally.
It's like what you were saying earlier, you like dip into different things and just not be tied down with one thing for a long period of time.
And I've been getting...
Like explore other directions,
always.
Dip into different things.
Music is like that. You should be able to if you're willing, and I am willing. But I've been getting invited from the UK for the last year and a half.
They love you over here.
I love it here too, man. I've been here with for so many years, since '94. Yeah. I've been coming here with different bands, and so it'll give me an opportunity to be in an intimate setting, which is going to be little clubs, and just share my journey. And yes, we'll do a couple of Lissy songs. We'll do some Nugent stuff, and possibly do some Neil Sean stuff. Whatever I stay away from Whitesnake. I stay away from. There's no voice like. I'm sorry. They're great songs. Yeah. Unless you really do a different arrangement on it, those songs they're Mr. David Coverdale. That's it. That's his voice. That's his thing.
Will you get the opportunity to check them, Def Leppard, Whitesnake tour?
It doesn't look like it. We play London tomorrow, and then we're off to Israel.
Yeah,
So we're done.
Passing ships.
But we did a run with David Coverdale in the U.S. You didn't know that.
No.
The East Coast.
Right.
And then we did Europe. We just finished with David.
I love him. He's an absolute musical hero to me. I've never met him.
Me too.
It's a box that I need to tick.
Me too. He's the quintessential artist.
Yeah.
He really is.
Yeah.
Songwriter, singer, and what he's done for music, rock and roll in history, it's amazing. And I appreciate him as a human being. He's just.
Have you heard the Whitesnake Purple album?
Yes, and I love it. And I love it. I love that he's celebrating, where he's been. It's part of his journey. That's it. And journalists want to look at the weak side and do this and do that, whatever.
They always seem to be looking for the negative, don't they?
Unfortunately,
that makes
what sells.
What makes the story.
It's easy to look at the negative. Why not celebrate the years with Purple?
Yeah.
The first time I heard David was with Purple and Glenn Hughes, man.
Yeah.
It was like.
That's why I asked what you thought of it, because I knew your early musical influences, what you listened to, Purple's in there.
For God's sake, it was like amazing, that lineup, man. It was like, wow, undeniably amazing. And Glenn, I'm a friend of Glenn's too, and a big fan, always will be.
Incredible.
Amazing.
Vocalist and
yes.
bassist, I mean.
And songwriters and the whole thing.
Did he? Yeah, he's still doing it.
Yeah, and I introduced him to Soren, actually. I will take credit for that. So, no, David Coverdale, Glenn Hughes, Richie Blackmore, that era was just amazing. And John Lord, I mean, come on, man, amazing stuff. So to be able to say that I work with these cats, it's amazing. I'm blown away. I'm going, wow, I've had a great journey, man. And so being on the same stage with David was really fun, with Tommy Aldridge and Michael Devin on bass, and Joe Hostres, who's also a friend, and Red Beach, and Michael Lucci. It's just, the band sounds amazing. You're going to see them, right?
See them next week, yeah.
They sound amazing. And of course, another band, Def Leppard.
Yeah.
Come on. Doesn't get any better. Joe and the boys and, Bass. They're amazing. And Vivian, who I got to know personally and work with.
Lovely guy.
Lovely guy. He's going through his struggles, and he's a champion. My hat's off to that cat. I love him to death. I have a lot of respect for those guys. So that's going to be a good run. I'm sorry I'm going to miss it. And then, of course, BSR. It'd be nice to catch the whole thing.
Yeah.
But next time, and there will be a next time, I hope.
Okay.
But I'm looking forward to coming across you on my solo thing in January.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you talking about it. Maybe
you doing Manchester?
I think so.
Not sure myself. No.
I'm not sure. I need to get through this.
Yeah. And then.
But it's all set up.
I know what you mean.
I think we start in Chesterfield, and then we do Cardiff. We do Glasgow, which I'm really excited about. I've never been to Scotland with my stuff.
Right.
And and London.
Over all the years and who you played with.
Well, we've tried, and I've gotten invited. And again, it's a scheduling thing because I'm involved with so many things. But this will be a good time. And I'm doing Russia, and I'm doing Czech Republic, Scandinavia. So I'm really excited, man. Really. And Pino, I can't say enough about Pino on drums. You'll hear him. He's amazing. Groove Meister, and then of course Soren, who's another cat that needs to be heard in a big way. He's a great player, songwriter, singer, producer. He's got it all. Yeah. And he cooks great too.
That always helps.
Yeah.
Right, Marco, that's great. Great to talk to you again.
Good to talk to you too, man.
Thank you very much.
And of course the album is Revolucion with the Dead Daisies. Please check it out when you can. And go to thedeaddaisies.com, marcomendoza.com.